Alright, so I'm just gonna say before I get started into this whole review, let me just start this off by saying that this is not gonna be a serious review. I don't think I'm actually gonna try to be like an actual reviewer. I'm not IGN. I'm not no fucking dude that goes out and reviews famous people. That's not me. Alright, so this is just gonna be my honest thoughts about the movies. I'm also gonna be doing this for whatever games I play, so I'll probably be doing this whenever I finish Subnautica. So let's get into the review. So yesterday, it's a little bit late. I know both the movies came out 2 weeks ago. I technically watched Oppenheimer like the week it came out, and this is just me watching it a second time yesterday. But yesterday I did do the back-to-back Barbie and Oppenheimer experience, and I'm just gonna say right off the bat, if you guys are thinking of doing the same exact thing, for the people who haven't done it yet or haven't seen either movie, please go watch Barbie first and then watch Oppenheimer after, because the shock between both of the movies, that's on some different shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you can either go from watching a movie that's gonna leave you thinking about nuclear war and that you could deadass die in like a day, to go to a movie about a doll who is scared of getting cellulite and flat feet. You know, if that's your cup of tea, hey, go for it. But I would recommend, honestly, going to see Barbie first and then going to see Oppenheimer. But it is two very different movies. So starting it off with the bad bitch movie, Barbie. Honestly, a pretty good movie. Jumping into the movie, I genuinely didn't know what I was gonna get myself into. Like, obviously I know it's a movie about Barbie, and I'm definitely not the target audience for that, but I still enjoyed myself because it's more of like a family movie. If anything, it's more of like it has like some adult jokes and it has some kid jokes. Like 20 minutes into the movie, Ryan Gosling and Simu Liu, or however you pronounce his name, I'm sorry if I butchered that, they're talking about like jacking each other off. They don't exactly say, you know, like, yo, let me grab your dick, let me stroke that shit. They don't say that exactly, but the wording they use, that's pretty much what they mean. Margot Robbie was a very good casting choice for Barbie. I feel like she played the role pretty good. Ryan Gosling was definitely the carry of the movie though. Like, honestly, his scenes were actually pretty funny. I feel like him as an actor was just having like fun playing as Ken, because the whole time Ken is basically portrayed as like a kind of like a not a jock, but like a frat boy almost. So if you think about your typical frat boy, that's exactly how Ken was portrayed, and that shit was kind of hilarious, not gonna lie. They start off showing off Ken as kind of like being the bitch boys in Barbie land. Like, their whole existence is basically, yo, I want Barbie to notice me. I want Barbie to fuck me. I want Barbie to put those barefoot feet onto my dick and just start stroking that shit. That's basically the whole first part of the movie. And then when they get into the whole part where they go into the real world, like Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, Ken starts seeing what it's like out there in the real world, where men like basically control everything, and he starts getting kind of like egotistical. He starts loving horses, he starts loving war like a real man. One thing that really threw me off in the beginning of the movie, and I looked it up, actually I didn't even look that shit up, let me look that up right now. So it was true. So in the beginning of the movie, there's a Barbie who's pregnant. That shit threw me off, because who the fuck is impregnating a Barbie? I don't even want to think about the biology of that shit, but someone out there, some freaky ass dude out there, impregnated a Barbie. So there was a pregnant Barbie in the beginning of the movie. I guess that was like a discontinued Barbie that they had like a while back, and honestly, good for them for fucking discontinuing that shit. That would be weird as fuck to play with. I think there's like a whole slew of like Barbies in that movie so growing up, I didn't really play with Barbies, so I don't know exactly any of the cameos or whatever that were in the movie, so I can't talk about that. Like, who the fuck is Alan? Michael Cera? Who the fuck is Alan? And that was kind of the vibe of the whole movie, and I'm kind of glad they ran with that, because they're just like, even them in the movie, they're like, yo, Alan, who the fuck are you? Because again, I searched it up. I guess Alan was like a discontinued Ken, like it was his best friend or something, like way long ago. Without knowing that, you just know about Barbie, you know about Ken, and then Michael Cera just waltzes out onto the screen. He's like, hey, I'm Alan. And you're just like, who the fuck? There's also some girl named Skipper. The only Skipper I know is from the Penguins of Madagascar. I don't know this Skipper. That's not my Skipper. But overall, I did enjoy myself for the movie. One thing that I feel like they could have done better was they didn't really go into the real world that often. They went into the real world around like 30 minutes, I'd say, into the movie, because Margot Robbie started getting cellulite and her feet ended up, you know, becoming flat, so she was freaking out. She wanted to get it fixed, so they sent her to the real world. And I thought that there would be more scenes of her actually going into the real world, but there really isn't. A lot of the movie is based inside of Barbie Barbie Land, and I would have loved to see a little bit more of how they treat like a doll in real life. Like they do have like the whole like shock factor when they first get into the real world, like people just staring at them and shit, and then they're all confused about what the real world is like. But that part of the movie isn't exactly a big part of it, I feel like. Well, it is a big part of it, but there's not a lot of screen time in the real world. A lot of it is done in Barbie Land. Nevertheless, I still enjoyed it, so I don't really care too much. It did have a good soundtrack. There was some good songs in there. I know everyone is raving about the I'm Just Ken song. It's a good song. Will I go out of my way to listen to it in the car? No, I'm not gonna listen to that around the homies. I'm just not doing that shit. I'm sorry. But it was a good song. Dua Lipa was in the movie. I don't know what they did to her hair. They gave her, she was like a mermaid, and they gave her like I think it was like a pink wig or a blue wig. It was one of those colors, and that shit looked fake as fuck. I know it was a wig, but like you can make that shit look more natural. John Cena came out of nowhere as a merman, and his wig looked natural as fuck. It looked like they genuinely braided his hair the way that shit looked natural. But I heard that Mattel is thinking of starting their own Mattel Cinematic Universe. I don't know how that's gonna go, because the only other Mattel thing I know that they have is like Hot Wheels. I feel like a Hot Wheels movie would be pretty cool. It's just a racing movie. You know, they've had a lot of racing movies in the past, so you can't really fuck up a racing movie. Actually, let me take that back. There's some dog shit racing movies out there. You ever watched the Need for Speed movie? That shit was ass. I guess Mattel owned Uno. Don't know how you're gonna make an Uno game unless you like do some Jumanji shit, I guess. The ending is super weird too, because alright, spoiler warning really quick for the ending. I'd say that the ending was, I found the ending a little lacking, I'm not gonna lie. Barbie ended up becoming a real girl, some Pinocchio type shit. You know, I see where they're going with it, but I don't know. It felt kind of like an ass pull for me. But again, nevertheless, I did enjoy the movie. And again, if you do want to go see both films back to back, I would say go see Barbie first and then Oppenheimer, because they are two very different movies. Now I'm gonna get into the Oppenheimer side of it, of the whole Barbenheimer experience. Oppenheimer, I've already seen once before yesterday. I went to go see Oppenheimer the week before. I went to go see it in IMAX, just because, I don't know, people kept hyping up the whole IMAX thing. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. The nearest IMAX to me is like 40 minutes away. I'll take the drive. I drove down there during a tornado warning. That's some dedication right there. I'd say if you want the best experience, for sure, go see it on a bigger screen. There are some moments in the movie that when it's cropped to like just a standard like movie, I guess it's still a good movie overall, but the IMAX just had some scenes where it just took up the entire screen, and it was beautiful to see. If you can't see it in IMAX and you just want to go see it in standard, that's perfectly fine. I still enjoyed it. I don't have a lot of experience with like biography type movies. The last like true story movie I technically went to go see was that one with the hot Cheeto dude, the dude who made the hot Cheetos. But I'd say I wouldn't say the movie is for everyone, especially if you're just like a strictly like big action dude, or like you're like a big Marvel person or some Star Wars shit. I wouldn't say it would be for those people, just because there's a lot of talking and there's no action. Oppenheimer doesn't go fight in the war. He doesn't go get an MP40 and start shooting Japanese people. That's not, you know, that's not the movie. So there's a lot of big words and there's a lot of talking. There's some there's some romance in that shit. Fucking call him Risenheimer, bro. Like, he was out here risen up women left and right. You're telling me a man who is fluent in nothing but quantum physics can get women, and I'm over here without a woman? What the fuck is that? But this dude had like a wife, then he cheated on that wife with a lady who was already married, then he went and cheated on her with his own wife. There was like 3 mistresses, one of them killed herself, but still, like, this guy was swimming in pussy. Cillian Murphy, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Again, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Amazing job portraying Oppenheimer. I'm saying that like I knew the dude. A lot of the trailer, it usually just shows like Oppenheimer, like, you know, staring off screen, have his own like internal conflict, and Cillian Murphy did a great job of actually like showing that and portraying that with just his eyes. It's very impressive, because you can portray emotion and things like that with, you know, there's tears, facial expressions, like words, but just staring straight ahead and pulling off that deadpan look. He pulled that shit perfectly. Like, that's how I be looking in the gym when I'm battling my demons. The movie was just filled with famous actors. There was, you know, Robert Downey Jr., he was in the movie. He did an amazing job. He, like, you know, he starts off as just a dude who was, you know, in court or whatever the fuck it was. They kept saying it wasn't a court scene, but I don't know what it exactly was, so I'm gonna just reference it as a court scene because that's what I think it is. But he did a great job, like, staying calm and showing that like he was a good guy in the beginning, and then just like really ramping it up at the end and showing his true colors. That was really great to see. The music, bro, the music was fucking amazing. The build up of like the whole nuclear bomb where they're gonna actually test it, the whole Trinity sequence, the music behind that, amazing. The music for the part where they the music for the ending where it's really ramped up and then at the end showed like what the future could be like, where all the countries just fire off nukes. It's just nuclear warfare free for all. Amazing the way it built up, the way they use like people's like feet just stamping as like kind of like sound effects. Great job there. The music was so good. I deadass. So last night, right, I be having some vivid ass dreams. I had a dream last night that I was like hiding from a dude who was breaking into my house. My dream had a soundtrack. When the fuck does that happen? There was deadass piano music playing in my dream. Like that was some like theatrical shit. I'm not gonna lie, it was cool as fuck. And then when the guy actually found me in my dream, it's like someone just like bashed their hand on the piano keys and it made like some like dramatic sound effect as he found me. And that's when I like woke up and I was like, holy shit, I'm about to die. That was cool as fuck. I woke up feeling like I was Christopher Nolan himself. I will say that I do feel bad for Mr. Oppenheimer, Mr. Oppie. I feel bad for him because they deadass crucified him for his opinions. Like what the fuck is that? Like he created the atomic bomb. See what destruction he caused by making that invention. And then because he wanted to start world peace and wanted to like unite the world and say, hey, let's not build these, you know, like it's possible, yes, but I don't want this future to be a thing. Instead of like, so he told people that people didn't like that shit and they said, nah, get this man out of the government now. But again, overall, I did enjoy that movie as well. I enjoyed both movies. All right, so if I had to rank both movies out of 10, I'd give Barbie like a 7.5 out of 10. It's not a bad rating, and I did enjoy the movie. Was it a perfect movie? No. You know, it's not a bad movie. Would I recommend it? Yes, I'd recommend to go watch it. Especially if you have like kids or something, it's a perfect movie to go take your kids. Do I recommend seeing Barbie? Yes. Final recommendation? Yes, with a 7.5 rating. Oppenheimer, would I recommend seeing it? Yes, but again, it is not for everyone. If you are a big action person and like big set sequences of like action, probably not going to be for you. But out of 10, I would definitely give Oppenheimer like a 9 out of 10. So final review, Barbie 7.5, yes recommendation. Oppenheimer 9 out of 10, yes recommendation. Again, I'm not a movie reviewer. Honestly, I pretty much like any movie. Like sit me down in front of a movie, even if it's bad, I'll laugh at that shit. So don't take this seriously. Don't be like, yo, this dude on the internet gave fucking Barbie a 7.5. Go dox him. Go find his address. Burn his shit down. Yo, calm down. Calm down. I'm just a regular ass dude. But it was a fun experience, basically just seeing a movie back to back. Wasn't technically back to back. I went to Red Robin after Barbie and then I went to go see Oppenheimer, but it was like a 2-hour difference between the movies. So yeah, that's basically my review, the Barbenheimer Experience. If anything, I'll probably end up going to see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. At first, I didn't really want to watch it. I didn't really care too much about it, but as I keep seeing clips and scenes of the movie, it does look like a fun time, so I wouldn't mind going to see that. Same thing for like Blue Beetle. I feel so bad for Blue Beetle. Like, I enjoy Blue Beetle. He's a pretty dope dude, but that movie is gonna bomb and I feel so bad for that movie, but I'll probably end up watching it because I do like Blue Beetle. So if you guys want to see reviews of those, just let me know. I'll try to do this again. If you guys didn't like this, just let me know. I'll shut the fuck up next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll upload another video later on in the week, and yeah, I will see you guys later.